These are the Bose QC Ultra headphones, Bose's $430 flagship noise cancellation headphones that are meant to replace the NC700s. Now, my first impressions when I look at the design of these headphones, they kind of seem like a hybrid between the NC700s and the QC3545, which had a more classic look. But more so than that, I feel, and this is completely a personal opinion, that the NC700 were kind of like a test for Bose. It was the first time they deviate from that classic look that they've always had with the QC15s, 25s, 35s, and 45s into something that looks completely different, more like an alien-shaped thing. It was also the first time that they go touch instead of buttons. And if you look at the design of the NC700s and the 35 or the 45s, and you kind of like combine them together, you get something like this, which really looks like a cross, like a hybrid between the 700s and the 45s. And it's not only looks. The 700s had touch controls, for example. The 45s had physical buttons. The Ultras, they have both. They have a physical button over here to control media playback, but also a touch-sensitive strip to control volume. The 700s could not fold, which was something that people missed, while the Ultras, they fold, which makes them more portable. The 45s had an issue with them being barely usable in windy conditions, and that's because you could not turn off noise cancellation, and the microphones around the ear cups would then capture the sound of wind. Well, with the Ultras, Bose has something called wind block, which when it detects wind, it cuts off the microphones around the ear cups, thus by reducing the sound of wind. So in a way, the QC Ultra feel like a culmination of what Bose has learned in the previous iterations of noise cancellation headphones, all in one package. But the star of the show is immersive audio, which is really what sets these apart from all the previous Bose headphones. Now, if you haven't tried spatial audio or immersive audio, it's going to be hard to explain what that is, but essentially it brings your music to life, it widens your soundstage, and instead of that flat and lifeless sound when you activate immersive audio, you really feel like you're sitting in front of two large stereo speakers, sitting in that sweet spot right in the middle where you can enjoy that sound that comes to life. Listening to music with the immersive audio turned off sounds fine. It has that signature Bose sound and sounds pretty close to the NC700s. Matter of fact, they have the exact same drivers as the NC700s. But then when you turn on immersive audio, the music literally comes to life. And you have two options with immersive audio. You have still and motion. With still, as the name implies, the audio stays still in its place. With motion, the audio follows you or follows your head movement. So if you turn left or you turn right, the audio follows you. And you really have to experience this to understand what it feels like. But what I can tell you, it sounds really nice. And it really immerses you in that music and adds some depth in a much wider soundstage. And it sounds really, really good. These are also Bose's first headphones with Snapdragon sound, which enables aptX adaptive. They also have multi-point connectivity, which allows you to connect them to two different devices at the same time. Now, what I was also really pleasantly surprised with was Bose's Aware mode. Now, in the past, they've had Aware mode as well, but it never sounded very natural. And I think the industry leader in Aware mode is Apple, and I don't think anything sounds as natural as the AirPods in Aware mode. But with the QC Ultra, I think Bose are getting dangerously close to Apple in that territory, and their Aware mode sounds really nice. It sounds very natural and much better than it did with the NC700s. To the point where I could leave the headphones on in Aware mode and go about my day, and that did not bother me at all. Of course, what adds to that is that they're extremely comfortable, which is something that we got used to with Bose, and I think they make one of the most comfortable headphones out there. and these are no exception. The ear cups are very comfortable, the headband is quite comfortable as well, and they're lightweight enough for them not to feel like a heavy burden on your head. Now these of course use the Bose Music App, and let me walk you through some of the basic functionalities there. When you launch the app, this is where you can select immersive audio, and as I said, you can turn it off, you can set it to still, or you can set it to motion, and there's also a demo which you can use to experience immersive audio. It takes you from normal stereo sound to immersive audio, first with the fixed one, and then it enables the motion one with the audio following your head movement, and then you can simply toggle between off, still, and motion within the demo. Another nice thing is the modes. So by default you have quiet, aware, and immersion. Quiet of course has the noise cancellation at the maximum, and aware, well, is aware mode. With aware mode you can also toggle active sense on, which is a really nice thing. It constantly monitors the sounds in your environment, and if it detects a sudden loud sound, kicks in noise cancellation to kind of dampen that sound. And then immersion also has noise cancellation on, but then activates immersive audio. But you can also create your own mode. So for example, if you want one for commuting, you can select the level of noise cancellation from the maximum to the minimum. And this is where you can also select wind block. And as I said, this disables the microphones around the ear cups if it detects wind gusts, so that you don't hear the sound of wind. You can also decide if you want immersive audio on, still, or motion. And lastly, I want to show you the shortcut which you can enable, and you can get to that by touching and holding on that touch sensitive volume strip. And you can choose between the battery level, changing immersive audio, or cycling through the immersive audio modes, accessing your voice assistant, so in this case Siri, or Spotify. The battery life on the QC Ultras is rated at 24 hours with active noise cancellation, which was really good. But if you use immersive audio, that brings it down to 18 hours. And it charges via USB-C, as has become standard. Now in terms of noise cancellation, well, there's no surprise there. Bose has always been one of the top contenders, and at times the top contender in that area, and these are no exception. The noise cancellation is great. I did not have a chance to test them out on an airplane, but I've tested countless Bose products before, and I have no reason to believe these are going to be any different. The noise cancellation is just superb. Now Bose says these have enhanced call quality, so let's test them out. So now you're listening to me through the microphones on the QC Ultra headphones, and this is what they sound like in a quiet environment. Now to see how well they perform with loud sounds in the background, I'm going to turn on this vacuum cleaner. And this is how the Bose QC Ultra headphones sound like with a loud vacuum cleaner turned on in the background. Again, this is the Bose QC Ultra headphones with a vacuum cleaner turned on in the background. Now for the final test, I did go outside for a real-life test of a loud environment, so let's head outside for that. So this is what the Bose QC Ultra headphones sound like in a loud and noisy environment. As you can see, there's a highway behind me with a lot of cars passing by, and it's actually quite loud. Let me switch to the iPhone's microphone so you can hear how loud this actually is over here. And this is how loud the environment actually is over here, and you're listening to the audio through the iPhone's microphone at this point. So this is what the Bose QC Ultra headphones sound like in a loud and noisy real-life environment. Now, here are my thoughts on the QC Ultra. I like them. I really like them, and as I said, I think these have been a culmination of learnings from Bose that manifested in this product. But for some reason, they don't feel like $430 headphones. Don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're very comfortable, they look nice, they sound nice, the noise cancellation is awesome. Aware mode is awesome. For the first time on a Bose product, it sounds quite natural. The microphones sound good. Not the best, but pretty good. And immersive audio is really, really nice. But yet, somehow, and I don't know why, they don't feel like $430 headphones. If you own these or are thinking of buying them, let me know in the comments section what you thought. And as always, if you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.